morning.
Good morning. So we're very excited to bring this to you today here in sunny Irvine, California. And we are winging this to make sure it gets done. So thank you all for tuning in on Facebook Live in addition to on the Blog Talk Radio. So Happy New Year to everyone again. And yes, we just did a video on stress for 2019 on de-stressing, making sure 365 days, small term goals, and reward yourself. So welcome,
Yes,
Angie.
I like it.
Yeah, right?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, I want to give a little background about you. You're a home ownership advocate, you're a first-time buyer specialist, and you work for Metro Estates over in Newport Beach.
Correct.
So what got you really into real estate, first and foremost?
I actually got into real estate because I was forced to buy a property when I was 19 years old, and I had a really not great experience with that whole thing because nobody wants to work with a 19-year-old that doesn't really have a lot of down payment funds. So I realized that this was like one of the most important decisions in my life, and somebody needed to come into the industry and kind of help the little guys before they became the big dogs.
Very cool, very cool. Well, some of your background is very interesting. I mean, not only do you sell homes, but you do a new thing, since I've been in the business for the last 30 years, is staging properties, using drones and things like that.
Right.
How does that really affect real estate in today's market and making sure the property looks its best?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, honestly, you guys can see all the shows that are on out there right now. Mm-hmm. Everything is about how we look and how we present ourselves, and just kind of having this beautiful decluttered space where we can focus and create. And so in order for people to want to buy a home or make an offer on a home, we need to kind of psychologically put them in the same spot that these shows put them in, because that's what marketing is. You guys all want it to be like the show, and when you're paying $500,000, like, it needs to be bright and shiny and perfect. So staging and droning and all of that stuff is just a part of marketing properties, and it's honestly a crucial part nowadays because the competitors are doing it, and we need to do it to be good listing agents for our clients and just get that out there.
Excellent. Well, being said, you look gorgeous, by the way. Love to see the prep and go and get done. Making sure we got presentable, right? Because the first appearances makes it big. It's early, yes. We all got here 6:30 in the morning. Anyway, so let's talk about Valid to Save. We were at our mastermind retreat up in Tahoe, fourth quarter of last year. And
great.
yeah, it was very good. Thank you.
Great.
And you brought it to the attention of everyone, and we all were just wowed by it. And you had mentioned something about it taking 10 years to develop this and really put together the thought. So talk about how that came about.
Well, and it's so interesting to see just kind of how technology and everything evolves. But when I started as a real estate agent, I actually used to build websites for real estate agents and be their customer service manager. So I had a lot of the tech and marketing background, but not necessarily a lot of the here's how you write a real estate contract background. So when I basically, getting Valid to Save started was this idea that was born of, what if people could crowdfund their down payments? What if I could create a website where everybody came in and contributed so that a family could help the younger generation into a property? And it was almost like before its time, because at the time that I thought of this, like, we didn't even really have social media out. Like, Facebook was just coming out. There wasn't the engaged status that we could advertise to. So I talked to, I'm just a realtor from the Midwest trying to get a new idea off the ground. So I didn't have, I went and talked to a advertising agency, and they're like, oh yeah, we can, this is like a whole new level of awareness, because people Google something that they know, like, leopard shoes, for example. But if you don't know that there's crowdfunding for down payment, then you have to bring a whole nother level of campaign. It's called an awareness campaign.
Right.
And I just didn't really have the funds as a beginning real estate agent to bring about this awareness campaign that there was this thing. So it kind of just sat there, and the market turned, and then I had to just work real estate. And now it's coming to the point where now I feel like, okay, with social media, with where PayPal's at, and online contribution websites that allow such a trust factor that the older generation will actually go online and pay for something now. 10 years ago, nobody would go online. Well, a small percentage of people will go online and pay for something, right? But now we're coming into that time, so I think that it's just really like, kind of you have this idea and it's born inside of you, and it just, sometimes it doesn't come to fruition for quite some time because it's marinating, for lack of a better word.
Very cool. Well, I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, this is our 10th year anniversary for NAWRB.
Oh,
and
awesome. Happy anniversary.
When you came out, you know, about the software and what you're doing, we had the same issues with NAWRB. It was very much, you know, a gender space, but at the same time, everyone was more worried about work versus then, okay, are we looking at from a gender space where that was going?
Right.
And it took a long time. I would say it took 6 to 7 years before the industry even woke up to the thought process of it. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And the last 3 years, it's definitely become a stronghold. The last year, before even Me Too and everything else has gone down, because that's a notion of kitchen sink of everything inside of it, right? There's no real, the focus is, everything has been part of it. And so we are so fortunate that the last year, it's really just exploded because timing is everything, and right now we could not be in a better space. So here with you, with A Vow to Save, I mean, there's so many different platforms out there that are really about helping people have a focus and a dream, and then moving forward on how do we get to that spot. So let's talk a little bit about Vow to Save, on the aspect of what are the criteria for it, what is it, who can be part of it, and why is it so valuable in the bigger picture. And let's do it at the 30,000 level.
Sure. Well, basically, Vow to Save is a crowdfunding platform for your down payment on a home. I originally designed it for engaged couples to use this as kind of like, we don't want to register for China, we want to register to buy a home. But as it's evolved a little bit, people are saying, Angie, why do you just want to use this for engaged couples? And I'm thinking about it, and it doesn't necessarily have to. So basically, who can use Vow to Save is anybody who wants to earn a down payment on their home and is struggling to do it on their own. That would be the who. And it doesn't matter if you're here in, you know, Irvine, California, or if you're across the country. I've designed the platform so that anybody can use it anywhere, and it's absolutely no charge to the user that uses the platform to earn their down payment.
Excellent. So if while we're online right now, this is so exciting. Look at all the Facebook posts. Look at all the attention we have on it. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Hi guys, thanks for coming. I can't see that far. I'm getting old.
hey, I got some decades on you. Anyway, so formalities. info@NAWRB.com. That's why I have my Surface Pro in front of you right now. So I'm looking to see what questions are coming in. So info@NAWRB.com. I cannot see the little scribbles on the Facebook post, so I apologize. So please send questions in to that so we can address them. Then also, being that this is our very first inaugural sheCall, hence on a video and being live, have to make think of the name. That's right, Hey for First, yeah. What, you know, some of the things that I like about is that, you know, you put on a register, you go to, you know, some of the big department stores and you say, I want this and this and this, and they try to not have duplication. But at the end of the time, you get all these appliances, and you're going, what am I going to do with them? Am I even home? I mean, especially the millennials are traveling everywhere, or even we're getting older. So the idea of how does it in practice, if you were to give an example of something that has happened because of it, or the thought process, talk to me a little about that.
Well, I think one of the things that I really want to touch upon with this, you know, all of this stuff in the registry is that it does seem like the younger generation nowadays, they want to be minimal. They want less. Less is more. And our society, we almost train people through their weddings to start out with more than they can chew, because we give them all this stuff and then they can't fit it into a home that they can afford. Then they have to rent an apartment to fit all this stuff. And do you see how the cycle just goes from there, you guys? So stop the cycle from the beginning and just say, like, we just want the home, and we'll fit into the home whatever modest furnishings that fit into the home, but let's start with a solid foundation. And you guys can look up the stats online about you know, divorce due to money, and about just, even like crime statistics with your children when you are in a home that you rent versus a home that you own. These are all things that just basically, if you start with a solid foundation, you're going to have a better marriage, you're going to have, you know, better family, your kids are statistically more likely to go to college. All of these things just from that one little sliding door decision of we're not going to rent when we first get married, we're just going to buy something small, even if it's a 1-bedroom condo that we fit into.
You know, it's very interesting because my son was looking to buy some stuff when he went out to college. He went to IKEA. Well, he went to IKEA, and I thought, whoa, wait a second, IKEA. No disrespect, but we don't. You know, I have very, you know, my furnishings are very heavy, very ornate, and very large because I'm in that generation that loves, you know, the more artistry and quality of
construction.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
heavy duty, sturdy.
So IKEA was not on my book, let alone I've never bought anything from there. And there's fair, you know. And he goes, Mom, IKEA is where they have small furniture where it fits in my room.
Yes.
And so I thought about, just when you were talking, I thought, one of the reasons I'm sure IKEA is very successful is because not only the price point, but the fact that they scale furniture to the size of what can fit.
They do. I have like a 600 square foot apartment by the beach, and I needed a kitchen table in there, and IKEA like had the perfect fit, and nowhere else. Like I couldn't get one at Macy's or somewhere else. Like they're just, it wouldn't work. So it's about kind of retraining your brain, and it's not like this huge retraining, but it's just a little mindset to say, okay, let's just get into something that I can afford and that I fit into right now, and then building up from there, because that's, you know, another reason why I'm so passionate about real estate is I bought my first property when I was 19, and it was the best thing I ever did. And it was all an accident, so I'm not going to say I strategically did that. Yeah, like it was just all an accident.
Yeah, I was in Arizona. I bought my first house when I moved out there for native Californian, but at 18, and I thought, but you know, I think when I bought it at 18, you know, we paid $59,000, and 2 years later we sold it for $61,000. And I thought, oh wow, all this work for for $1,000 by the time you paid all the commissions. I'm like, okay, I broke even. So when we talk back to how did Vow to Save get tailored to real estate? What you know, most of the people on the that are watching us right now are in the real estate sector, and let's break it down.
Well, let's take it back to my Midwestern upbringing. Coming to California, it was so interesting to see how some of these younger couples had money and they had the down payment to buy a home. But when I was making my calls and just talking with people in the community, one of the biggest problems that people have is they don't have the down payment funds. So I was trying to think in my head of when a normal person that's not a trust fund baby is able to get a big chunk of money. And the two times that I thought of were when you get your tax returns, A, and when you get engaged and get married, B, because you get, you know, a bunch of cash for the wedding. So I was just trying to think of how can people leverage that. And I also designed this for the real estate industry so that when a real estate agent calls somebody and they go, oh, I don't have the money to, you know, buy a home right now, that the real estate agent can basically you know, tell them about this program and help them with this page that's almost like an accountability factor to earning the down payment, and then that real estate agent ultimately earning a commission from the sale and helping them get into a home. So it's I designed it so that we have this so that brides and grooms can take advantage of, you know, down payment funds, or just anybody. Like if you want to do it every year on your tax return, if you're just a single girl and you say, I'm vowing to save for my home and it might take me 3 years, and every year I'm going to put some of my tax return in here, and I'm going to ask on my birthday and Christmas for people to donate here, like, you know, that works too, however you want to do it.
I love it. Okay, so you have my nieces and nephews started sending emails, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, for when they were campaigning to get, you know, instead of selling door-to-door cookies and wrapping paper and stuff like that. So the idea is you're scheduling it. If you want to donate anything. Just donate to me to buy a home.
Exactly.
$5, $10, $100. What a great idea.
I don't want gadgets. I don't want gifts. I just want your $5, your $1, your $25. Because honestly, you guys, that all adds up. And that, like, there's a session that I teach most years at Homeownership Day called The Automatic Millionaire Homeowner, and that's a book by David Bach, and one of the biggest things that David writes about in that book is the latte factor, and just basically that $3.50 latte that you buy every day is your down payment in 3 years or less if you are diligent about not buying a latte and just putting it in your bank account, you guys. So it's little baby steps, but you can get there.
Thank you for the reminder when I go to the store and they have a big sale and I need that and that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Your own personal coffee cups, guys. This is your down payment right here. Just bring it from home.
That's right. And our new W, look at that, check it out, our new W, hey. So yes, we got questions coming in, so real quick. Question is, where can we go find it? So talk about, here's your flyer.
So basically, you guys can go to vow2save.com, and if you're a real estate agent or in the real estate industry, go ahead and click around and you can kind of see how that works. And if you're somebody that actually wants to register and get started and get your own little mini website with a crowdfunding platform, then you would just click on register. So there's a link on the top navigation to register. You can register either with your Facebook account. You only need 3 items of info to register. One thing I want to let everybody know is you do not need, like I or the program do not see any of your info when it comes to finances or any of that. The kind of like the nuts and bolts, like I don't want to get too technical, but basically it connects to PayPal. So you have your own PayPal account, Desiree has her own PayPal account, I have mine. I can set up a Vow to Save site right now, and then in the back end, you just put in your PayPal information, and then everything happens on the secure PayPal platform. So you don't have to worry about anything on this website getting hacked. I mean, it is still secure and things like that, but your friends and family aren't donating on some random place because we all know they like to pay PayPal or Amazon, right?
So, well, that brings us, real estate, obviously the number one thing is getting, wire fraud and sent somewhere else and stuff. So that's very important, obviously. So Vow to Save is V as in Victor, O as in Oscar, W for women. Hey. And number two. And then Save, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, V as in Victor, and E, Edward.com. So it is really, I think, an incredible idea. And I wanted to make sure we started something off with the new year, something different, something original. And it really, if you think about it, I'm sitting here in my crotch going, okay, because one of the things that I excel in is shopping from the standpoint of getting things for 3% of 100%. So that's an incredible deal.
Yes.
So on the flip side, I'm sitting here going, okay, Desiree, if you didn't do this and you didn't buy this, then you could have more money to, play in this world. But at the same time, I always have my justification in the back of my mind going, well, I could sell it for more than I paid for it by 5-fold, so I'm okay for justifying it for a while. But there comes a point, how much is how much, right?
Well, and let's take that to crowdfunding, like in the down payment, like literally you like to put in 3% to get 100%. Like this is a way that you could possibly put in 3% of your down payment and just rally your tribe to get the other 97% for you. Hey, and then have a party.
Yeah. Hey, come on over.
Invite them over.
Well, the other thing is that if you think about is if you bought a place, I know my son, my second son, is still doing this. He bought a home and actually went to live with his friend, and he bought a home. We found a home that was big enough as 4 or 5 bedrooms, and he rented a room. He got married, still rented a room.
Yes.
And you're thinking, okay, that's not quite my style, but it taught him that when he went to go buy his home, he could then, everything's paid for, because he rents out the room.
Yes.
Plus, he bought in Costa Mesa, and in 2 years, he made over $350,000 of equity.
Wow.
And not only because
awesome.
of the price point, but also because the fact is everyone else is paying for the rent,
right?
So, or the mortgage, and so the idea is here he is, no matter if the market goes up or go down, because we have a shift going on right now. And shift good, bad, level, down, up, doesn't matter.
Opportunities and shift always.
Yes, and so the other thing is that when you look at that, I'm sitting here going, wow, he can pick the people or friends he wants to live with him.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 are his best friends. Okay, so all good. And is able to allow him to build the home, not only to enlarge the home, upgrade the home at 0 cost.
Yes.
Because they're paying and funding it.
Right.
And so he sacrificed, not in the crowdfunding side, but he sacrificed how he was living.
Yes.
Because here in America, especially in certain diverse groups, they'll like to, have multi-generations or intergenerational living. And I know that some of us have never been brought up or exposed to that. So here you are basically saying, okay, gifts, love your gifts. I'd rather have your company and go to something in my home.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cute.
Yeah.
I think a fun play on that would be is that we did at one of our conferences, probably 9 years ago, we had an art studio that we rented out, and it was so cool. We were able to get everyone who came, and imagine this: we were in Dallas, the Mavericks were playing.
Okay.
Game 6 of
oh goodness, energy everywhere then.
Game 6 of the finals.
Okay. Yep.
Of the NBA championships.
Wow.
And we still had, and we're in a small gallery, right? 4 women. We had 150 people come through during first part. Those first part left and went watched the rest of the game.
Of course.
The second part came in after the game was over, and we were all supposed to close by 11. We didn't close till 1:30. We had 300 people come in on a small studio, and why was it was going to be contributed the next day at a luncheon for women, but everyone got to sign the back of the painting and put their stroke on the actual art, because there was a famous woman who came in who did guitars. The reason I'm making this long about back history is imagine you having your home and you had a board that had everyone sign up who contributed to your down payment. Right. So you had a down payment board, right? How fun would that be?
I know. Well, and actually the website does include that. You've got, anytime a friend or a family member goes to donate to your Vow to Save, you can upload a picture if you want. You don't have to. You can upload a message if you want. You don't have to. But then the, the engaged couple, or if it's not an engaged couple, whoever, you can go back and look at all of these people that helped you literally put together every dollar for your down payment. And it's, kind of like a great memory. And I'm sure there's got to be some way that we as Vow to Save can partner up with somebody maybe to turn that into like a physical memory that they put in their homes when they buy the home.
I think that'd be really cool. So fantastic. Or even, you see where people put a stamp or they put on an end to the sidewalk, or not the sidewalk, obviously public property, but I meant into, a brick or something that was part of it. But and that's the list got too many. But I mean, you go into a music hall, or you go into an art place, you'll see that who's our donors that keep it operational and keep it going every day. I just think that would be really fun. Right. Okay, so what are some of the other benefits? Here at NAWRB we talk about the dream, the stability, and the sanctuary of owning your own property. Right. You are always professing that we need to buy small, scalable, to where we keep it as a rental, then we move up to the next market and go that. So I think this is a perfect example that we don't need to buy the Taj Mahal, right? Exactly. And even now there's like tiny homes. You can get a tiny home for a very affordable price. I was literally on Amazon the other day. You could buy a tiny home on Amazon. So there's, the world of real estate is changing, and I'm trying to stay on top of it. But from everything that I see, don't necessarily listen to the news, because your affordability on a home, if you're creative, is way more in your reach now than it's ever been. Very cool. Well, we're getting back to having loans that are flexible. We're getting back to not having to be so rigid and strict and things like that. In addition to, there's so many platforms out there, and I think that by you doing this vow to save, it's really creating like Earn Up and all these other different platforms out there. They're matching coupons. Freddie Mac's got a program,
Right.
that I don't want to be quoted here on the exact criteria what they use, but Stacey Walker sits on our NDLC or Leadership Council, and they're doing very creative and encouragement to get you to save money. And I think this is a
Right.
great way that you internalize, okay, this is what I need to do, and then from there you have a platform. So how does a vendor get part of that? Like, say, for example, I know there's some fantastic people who do gift giving for when you buy a home, and they want to be partnered up. So talk to us about how that works.
Basically, at this point, they would contact me. If they want, they can, tag Vow to Save and, if they're on Instagram or something, and we can see what they're offering. But, you can email me, info@vowtosave.com. I'd be happy to talk with you. I feel like there's endless opportunities for relationships with vendors in this program. And it's something that I really try not to be a pitchy type of person. I try to be a value add type of person. So, if somebody wants to partner up on the program, that's who we'd be looking to partner up with. Somebody that would help these people with some type of a way to move up in life and things like that. And I wanted to reel it back to just reminding the real estate agents and the lenders out there, because I feel like you guys are the ones that talk the most with people that they go, I don't have a down payment. So I want you guys to know that I created basically the version of the flyer with no branding, and for you to put your logos here. This program, you can pitch it as your own for all I care. I just want people to use it and get a down payment. So if you want to email me for a copy of the unbranded flyer, info@vowtosave.com, or you can get in touch with NAWRB, and they will, forward it along to me, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to put it on our website. You're obviously, Angie is not only is she an elite member, she's in the process of becoming a certified delegate spokeswoman. So we're all excited about that as a platform.
Wonderful.
Because these are things that we need to share as a resource, what NAWRB is all about, right?
Right, and I'm so excited for the NAWRB conference this year. It's going to be amazing. So if you guys haven't looked that up yet or attended an NAWRB conference, make sure that you put that on your planner and go to the website and see, because just the value I got in our retreat weekend was amazing. And yeah, guys can join too, right?
That's right. Yes. We're definitely there. Obviously, we need men to support the work that's being done. And a lot of the work that we do is not just about gender. It really is about resources and connecting and getting it done. Obviously, we have it through a gender lens for women. So we talked a little bit about, but as far as local resources to help with the down payment program, we're based here, obviously, in Orange County, California. NAWRB has a satellite office in DC and working on New York and some other areas. Is this a national program?
Yes, it is. So basically anybody can use Vow to Save, and there's no restrictions at this point on where you live or anything like that. I want you guys to utilize the program and see what it can do for you. And on a local level, if you're struggling to get your down payment and maybe Vow to Save isn't for you, then there's a lot of different nonprofits that I would encourage you to go to. Like, for example, NeighborWorks Orange County is one. NAWRB would probably help you with different resources on how you could possibly use your SBA or something like that to get down payment. So if you don't have the money, start to talk to the professionals in the industry, and it's part of our job to help you find the money.
Very cool. So I like this, and thank you very much. And talk about that here at the Chapman Homeownership Fair that's going to be happening.
Oh yeah, OC Home Fair and Homeownership Day. We do that every year. This year it's going to be on January 19th. It's an event that Orange County Young Professionals Network puts on with Chapman University, and we have other nonprofits involved like NAWRB. And everybody gives classes about how you can have a hand up in real estate and how you can make smart decisions with your real estate portfolio. Whether you're a renter right now, whether you are a homeowner thinking about selling this year, or you want to become an investor. So I encourage everybody on the local level, find an event, and just one time a year, go, or even if there's no event, just call your real estate agent that you know and trust, and one time a year, brush up on your real estate portfolio, on the opportunities in the real estate market, because honestly, I feel like we can all do whatever we want in life if we just own a couple properties. Because like she said, like Desiree said, with her son basically getting his whole mortgage paid for by his roommates, when your property is paid for by somebody else, then your opportunities to do things on a daily basis become endless. You don't have to work for a certain amount of money anymore. Then you could just work for your passion.
Yep, and that's the things that's going on as far as you talk about opportunities and real estate portfolios changing. And not that this is about that, but the Vow to Save is really about a spectrum of the ecosystem. If you look at the tax reform and the opportunity zones, about the ultra high net worth individuals, the uber rich, the family offices, which are the privately held billionaires, more or less. We'll call it that way without going to keep it a macro level. Living in this $200 million estate. In addition to, they're running these huge successful businesses.
Right.
And her concept was, or the thought was, that everyone in the family, extended family, part of the family, everyone works directly for the business, which is the family office and the family business. So you're not allowed to spend outside of that realm. You work in it, you live it, you breathe it, you do it.
Right.
So obviously that's a huge extreme. But the idea is that, and then you have the perks after the fact.
Right.
I'm always about getting to the line is just as important as the journey, getting there as the bottom line. So, people would tell me, why do you love shopping? Well, I used to love it so much because of the fact that it was not only the excitement of buying it at 3 cents on the dollar that no one else could touch me on, right? And I'll go to bat with anyone on that. Globally too. That's one thing I'm very good at.
Global shopping challenge, anyone?
But no, I meant as far as talent to do it. But at the same time, once I've succeeded at it, we're there, right? It's not as, it's just okay. So that being said, because I know the value I have after it, so the idea is that if you transcend that to home ownership and buying that first with the Vow to Save, to commit to getting it done, same idea. People go, well, how do you find these deals? I understand the system. I get to know the system. If I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get there, if I have to give up and go at midnight. I mean, they used to have midnight specials. So you literally get up at midnight. Okay, this is 50 years ago. That you'd go stand in line at midnight to go at a shopping center to go to the midnight sale.
Exactly.
Right. They don't do that anymore. But they do midnight sales during Christmas time and things. But they did that 50 years ago. I was 3 years old. I remember going and stand in line and going and finding $2 shirts. Brand new.
And you're researched in your passion point and in your industry, and that's basically, you know, bringing it back to having that yearly meeting with your real estate agent and mortgage lender, and going to a community event about how you can make the most of your opportunities, because that's what you're doing. Like a midnight sale sounds like a great opportunity that not everybody knows about. And when you're talking real estate, there's definitely opportunities in any given market that, they don't always publish in the newspaper, so to speak, if anybody even reads that anymore. You
have it. That is such a perfect lead-in to, you mentioned something about NAWRB, about the SBA. Well, we sit on a national platform for it about, resources to help you with your businesses. But what people don't understand, we're talking about a renter, right? From Vow to Save to become a homeowner. Do you know if you're in a natural disaster, which happens here in California, Florida, Texas, Puerto Rico, everywhere in the United States, you have $40,000 they'll give you. No processing fee, no application fee, no payment for the first year. It's now been raised to 2%. Oh my gosh, it's too much money. But $40,000 to buy a car, buy anything you want. $200,000 if you're a homeowner. So here you are. That you are a renter, you're getting $40,000. If you're a homeowner, you're getting $200,000. So here, if I vowed to save, or I saved money for a down payment and I bought a home, if I'm involved in a natural disaster, I'm having assistance that you would never think of.
Right.
Those resources you talked about, those nonprofits that are set up, we all think of FEMA and everything else that we want to go to. Well, I need money now. I need it to where I don't have to pay it back now.
Right.
I need to make sure that I can keep my book of business going. Book of business meaning not only professionally, but my mental aspect. So I want to dive into that.
Sure.
Vow to Save, in my opinion, was exceptionally presented in the concept of not just the money aspect, but the aspect of the mental health aspect of saying, when you talk about intergenerational of teaching our children and grandchildren on the value of owning a home. We hear about, I need a new roof, I need, this tile needs some work over here.
They hear the headaches.
They hear the headaches. They hear the repairs. They hear the cost. They hear the impact. Oh, I had a flood. Let's call a landlord. No, it's the landlord, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So my idea is that we need to let them understand the value of saying, when I walk through that threshold, I'm in my domain, right? I have a mental footprint and physical footprint on earth now that I have this aura of, I did this.
Yeah, you came into your space, you have your domain, and it's a great feeling. Like I've been a homeowner most of my life, but for a short time I was a renter, and I remember wanting to change things and not being able to, and I remember telling my landlord I wanted to renew my lease and her telling me no, and then me going, oh my gosh, I have to move in 60 days, and I thought I was going to live here for 2 or 3 more years. What do I do now? And that's, I feel like that's, people are like, oh yeah, I'm just going to rent forever, and that's fine. But in Orange County, that's literally like a $25,000 a year decision to rent, and minimum. And
it's if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, because I live in Irvine, and the rent, just for a studio can easily be $1,500.
Right.
So,
yeah.
If you have, a child or whatever, it gives you have certain, number of people you can put into a certain size, and that's very important. So I really think that if we look at a checklist, because we're already, believe it or not, 45 minutes into this. Yeah, we're cruising right along.
Right.
What's your points that we should really consider? Okay, so we got Vow to Save, VOW2save.com is the website. Secondly, the language on how we need to get our comfort zone to go talk to our friends and family and let them know that as we have a text or we do our outreach and let everyone know, maybe not comfortable to tell someone, but just send a group email or group text and say, hey.
Well, and on that, honestly, like we talked about the Thanksgiving dinner scenario, but Vow to Save also provides you guys tools. Like we have graphics that are pre-created, so you can say, I registered to buy a home, and, pre-written emails so that, you guys don't, if you don't have the words, we definitely have the words on how to convince your friends and family to give you $1. So just ask us, and, we will provide those to you. But there's definitely graphics and all that stuff, and one of the things that the program is going to do, it's not quite doing it yet, but when somebody donates, it'll go onto your Facebook page so that you won't have to say thank you to anybody for donating, but your Facebook page will be connected with that, and then your sphere is automatically going to see all these people giving you money, and they're going to feel obligated to do the same thing. So the program is really going to advertise itself for you as you get going with it, and you just have to tell people about it initially, and be willing to let it go on your Facebook page and share about it.
So as I'm thinking through this, one of the questions came in is, I'm a real estate agent. How do I utilize it to my sphere of influence?
Okay, so that's a great question. Thank you for asking. Basically, it's a great, one of the things that they say is that email is the holy grail of sales, and we all get hundreds of them a day, right? So it must be effective in some way. So you have an email list if you're a real estate agent for more than a day, And you just basically say, hey, the subject of the email could be, I found this crowdfunding platform for down payments. And then you just send them a 2-liner. Hey, if you're struggling with getting down payment funds, I found this free resource for you to use. Click here, vowtosave.com, and register. And then you, as the real estate agent, basically they get this, it's a mini WordPress site, so you'll have a page on there that you're the sponsor for this Vow to Save program. And then everybody that goes to the Vow to Save page for that couple or that individual will see you on there. And even if you don't end up helping that couple or individual earn the down payment, you have endless eye opportunities from their sphere. So hopefully you could see the value in that. If you go to vowtosave.com, you'll see it says absolutely nothing about Angie Weeks or me or anything like that. That's not, I just want you guys to use this program. You can even say it's yours for all I care. Just get it out there and get your sphere on there, because really the underlying goal of Vow to Save is to help people become homeowners at a younger age. It not necessarily with me as the real estate agent or any of that. I just want everybody to know the value of homeownership, because then we'll all live better lives.
Okay, so take it to the next level. So I register, never owned a home, and I have you as my agent refer me to the platform.
Okay.
How do I, once I get enough money, and you now have retired?
Okay. Oh, took her that long.
Well, no, you retired wealthy, yes.
Right, yes, exactly.
So we
yes.
gotta look at the pot.
Okay.
So you retired, and it took me a year to save the money.
Sure.
How do I get assigned to an agent if I don't have an agent? How does that work?
Oh, that's simple. All you do is just, basically we have Vow to Save concierge that goes and kind of like watches and is your cheerleader for your website and watches you get your down payment, as that grows. And when it comes to a point where you've got your down payment funds, the Vow to Save concierge will help connect you with a Vow to Save agent in the area. It's that easy. So we've got agents across the country that are happy to help you find a home, whether it's in Kentucky or Florida or California here. So just if you don't have an agent, no big deal. You don't have to be referred to the platform by an agent. The platform would be happy to, connect you with one when that time comes.
Okay, so I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. And I'm going to be, oh my gosh, I just spent all this time and energy to get everyone to sign up for the Vow to Save, which I think is a great concept and a great platform to have it out there at a lot of different levels. So how do I make sure that you're not going to steal my buyer?
Well, basically, it will have, if you're the referring agent for Vow to Save, we'll know that from the very beginning, and we would never, stomp on grabbing your buyer. We just want your buyer to buy. The way that the program does make money for the real estate agents, as you guys know, a traditional real estate referral fee in the industry is 25 to sometimes 35%. There's a 10% referral fee that Vow to Save takes from the real estate agent when they close the deal. So Vow to Save doesn't get paid unless you get paid. And we don't want to try to take your buyers. We just want you to close more, and we'll get money to fund the program and improve the platform based off of the small referral fee that the agents give.
Got it.
Yeah, so literally if you want to do, so let's say you register for the program on your own and you're an engaged couple, and then Aunt Susie gets her real estate license and now Aunt Susie wants to be your real estate agent. Fine. Aunt Susie can be your real estate agent. Great.
Got it. Well, the idea is that you just answer the question how you be self-sufficient. Obviously you have to have some resources to go through it.
Right.
So the platform is totally free unless that client buys. Then that client buys for using the platform. You pay them 10% of whatever they get.
Right. And the way that I look at it is the real estate agent, we're creating a buyer with this platform right here together. Like, this person wasn't going to be able to buy with you until the platform came into play. And so why we team up like that, then we make it good for everybody together.
You accelerated the process. And by accelerating the process, that they get into the first leg of life, and then hopefully they become to where they have.
And now you earn a client for life, because not only did you believe in them when nobody else did, you actually walked with them through the journey, like you said, to get to the goal.
Well, the number one thing, as everyone says, is that realtors don't call you back. You know, they have that old thing is that it's a 90% conversion rate if you call within 10 minutes. If it's 10 minutes, and how many times you've heard from endless clients that that agent never called you back, they didn't do this, so this is a way of capturing it, and for a small minimal fee, you know, 10% of money, especially in the price point of the commissions that they have with here in California. I know in other places it's a little bit less, but the idea is that that's a substantial investment of assurance of building multiple layers within a client, because we all have referrals to that. Excellent. So we're getting close. And if you have any more questions, I know they keep coming in. It's again info@NAWRB.com. We'll go ahead and forward it to Angie Weeks. So I want to go into some closing events that are going down. So talk to us. Where could we register to go to Chapman's Orange County?
Oh yeah, if you want to go to Homeownership Day, you go to ochomefair.com and you can register there. It's happening on January 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's an awesome choose your own adventure style of learning about real estate. It's
totally free.
Yeah. Desiree will be doing a class.
I'll be doing a class there. Linda from Orlando from NAWRB will be there from Orange County. Angie will be doing one, and I think there's 8 total classes?
There's 12 actually. So yeah, there's 12 classes this year, buying a home, selling a home. Good one will be preparing for a market turn. If you're starting to get nervous about stuff that's going on in the news, check out that one.
We'll be talking about businesses and how the impact of sustainability and what that looks like through home ownership and also running a business.
Right.
So it'll be double edge there to get that going. In addition to a little housekeeping about NAWRB, we will have these sheCalls on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 9:30. We have our conference is going to be the first week of August. It's going to most likely be in Pasadena.
Awesome.
So we're very excited. So we'll keep you posted on that. In addition to our mastermind, we're going to start having those every quarter up in Tahoe. They're absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So we're very excited about that. It's we brought on Jasmine, who does the note assistance program, which is absolutely fantastic.
I love her.
We also brought in this year the family offices, so that deals with the ultra high net worth in the ecosystem of bringing it together. Actually 2 years ago, but this year it's exceptionally robust. We've gone global this year. So I'm going to speak in a lot of different countries this year. And then in addition to bringing some experts on the technology piece. So we have some incredible council leadership
with the AI,
what real AI is, what people are trying to sell you leads that are not there, that are really about aggregated data, and then also what we're doing for the quality of life, and that's really about the impact. So again, NAWRB is N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, W for women, R for Robert, B for boy.com. Or .org, both work. We are a non-profit organization, one arm and a for-profit arm on the other side, so we do a lot of educational training. And then in addition to, last year we opened it up to having men part of the organization, so we have several different tiers. We have 2 tiers, then we go into Leadership Council. Angie is going to be part of a certified delegate spokeswoman, which is where you speak around the country or have the opportunity to speak on panels and get presented for various different platforms that you would never think of being connected to. So I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's right in with my travel. Where are you most excited to travel to this year?
Oh wow! Well, we haven't put that all together. Probably it'll be London or go back to Toronto. I actually took our honeymoon there back in Toronto in Canada. Yeah. So I'm heritage is from Canadian French.
Awesome.
So to go back there would be exciting. And then also I think was even the biggest excitement from me this year is actually having a hand in the health of communities, to go into a community and do the social impact and say, if we could help affordable housing, we could put hospitality, we could put a commercial, industrial, manufacturing, and we can get the community to have a better infrastructure of quality of life and feel the connections. I think that is probably the biggest excitement that comes to play, and keep it in a gender equality and inclusion and everyone gets to be part of that action.
So powerful.
It is, and that what keeps me is, everyone says, what keeps you up at night.
Right.
It really is about
fire burning.
Yeah, and so if you want to be part of that, again, it's NAWRB.com. So thank you all, and hope you loved it. First time, right?
Yes,
We knocked it.
Thank you. We did it.
So take care, and bye bye.
Have a great day.